So anthropologically, according to the works of Raymond Dart, a very famous anthropologist and zoologist, he studied right from fish to human beings and the upright spine. And the effortless movements of the body are based on poise, which is the ability for the head, weighing about 15 pounds, to balance perfectly on the very top vertebra of the neck, called the atlas and the axis. And from that position, we need to be able to nod, turn our head, and roll it in different movements of directions. And the eyes follow the movements of the spine. They evolve in 6 weeks in the utero. The tiny muscles in the spine evolve at the same time as the eyes. So even as we move our eyes and move our head, the spinal muscles are integrating properly if we're working in that way, in proper poise. A lot of people nowadays have problems with the temporomandibular joint, which is basically the junction of the jaw to here. And these muscles here, when they go into contraction, can cause headaches and jaw problems, a whole host of symptoms. But basically, they cause the poise of the head, the balance of the head, to come off its centre, and the head can weigh anything up to 70 pounds by being pulled forward in poor posture, and that leads to lots of loss of integration in the body. So a big part of what we talk about is regaining this natural effortless poise of movement of the body following the head. So when we look at the power of the spine as being a dynamo of movement, what Atsumi talks about is that the small muscles in the spine actually turn the spine, and as we walk, the hip bones move in opposite directions, which produces a torsion that produces a sort of propellant power to the limbs that pendulally then swing. So as we classically walk, the torque action of the sacrum, which is between the two iliac bones, produces various vectors of power that can be sent out to the legs and the arms and change the position of what we call the thorax, our rib cage, to move the pelvis and actually propel us forward. And this is actually really the way we walk, rather than the pedestrian model of one leg in front of the other, and regaining balance. So these are the sort of power places in the spine that we learn to integrate in ortho balance, because the body literally follows the head, and we need the poise of the head on the top of the spine to give us these instructions of integrated movement through three-dimensional space.